services, I mean in our district. Good. So our topic was social services in our district, and we looked at the meaning of the word social services. So I would like to start straight away by requesting those who are serious to put up their arms. I can see here Onyango, Ongom. Ongom, please. You are the first person in my lesson. Unmute and talk to me. Yes. What are social services?
Social services are benefits provided by the government for people to live a better life.
Good girl. You have gone very, very nice. Thank you. Aheba Michelle, please, apart from government, give any other groups of people or organizations that provide social services to people. Aheba, unmute and talk to us.
The state.
The state is the government. No, thank you. Another person? I have seen here. May I see this name well? Babiri Ashley. Babiri Ashley, apart from the government, name any other groups of people or organizations that provide services to people. Babiri Ashley, yes.
It's the World Health Organization.
No, thank you. That is still the government. We have got the non-government organizations. That was our next sentence. Just after the definition of social services, we have non-government organizations. Non-government organizations also provide social services to the people, and they do it on behalf of the government. Solace, are you there? Solace, unmute and give us examples of social services. Only 2.
Education services, transport services.
Now, when you are saying 1, you don't say services, Solace. You have to be careful with your tense. So let's do it again.
Education service, transport service.
Good, that's the best. You have to be very careful as you give those answers to mine of the tenses. Yes, so let's get back to our questions that we have here. And number 1, we have already answered it. We have answered number 2 in a technical way, and I'm very grateful to those people who gave us those responses. Soles has given us education service. We also have transport service. Now, I would like to find from one of us the definition of the word education. Daphne, please. Unmute and talk to us. Yes.
Yes, pardon, teacher.
Now you see Daphne is not attentive. I said, what is education? Not attentive. All right. Let me have here Mbabazi praise.
Education is the way Education is the way of getting knowledge and skills from other people.
Okay. Education is the way of getting knowledge. Well. Is the way of getting knowledge, how you get knowledge. That's very wonderful, because how you get knowledge differs. You can get knowledge from people at home without putting on a uniform, without coming to school, without paying school fees. You can get education from home. And that type of education is called informal education. Now I can imagine how girls can peel matoke. I can imagine how girls can dig now because they have stayed home for some time and they don't know that they have acquired what we call informal education. That brings us to types of education. Okay. So while at home, you get what we call informal education. All right, because there you are not putting on a uniform, You don't have teacher or team in front there. You don't have the timetable. The bell is not pressed. So that type of education is also called indigenous. The word is indigenous. Now, Gloria, Mukasa, Asha, spell for me the word indigenous. Now, Mukasa, Asha, spell the word indigenous. Yes.
I-N-D
Asha, the whole world is listening to you.
I-N-D.
Okay, who can help her? Elizabeth. Elizabeth Nacheyune, please help her spell the word indigenous. She has started very well. Elizabeth Nacheyune, please do it again. Unmute and do it again. Nachmera, please, you have noise for us. Nachmera Berina. Be attentive, Nachmera. Nacheyune, please talk to us. Unmute and talk to us. Nacheyune, you are not attentive. Elizabeth, you are not giving us the response we want. Okay. Namagembe Michelle, are you there? Speak. Spell the word indigenous.
I-N-D-I-G-E-N-O-U-S.
Wow, very good girl. Thank you very much. Thank you. So that is the type of education that we get at home, and it is not in a formal way. It does not include the timetable. It doesn't have trained teachers. It has got experienced members of the community. So our friend gave us the definition of the word education, and we have it there. Thank you very much. We have looked at the types of education, and there are two. We have discussed so much about the informal education, and our friends have spelled for us the word indigenous. Now we have got the type of education that we have been, or that we are now taking on, and that is called the formal education. It is also called missionary education because it was introduced by the missionaries, and that's why it's called the missionary education. This is the type of education that involves putting on a uniform, sitting in front of a teacher, listening to the timetable, following the timetable and listening to the bell, and all those features that we experience while at school. So let us look at number 6. We are looking at the indigenous education and its content. What is taught in the indigenous education? What is taught in indigenous education depended on the sex, depended on the gender of a learner. If you are a boy, then you will have to carry out specific roles. If you are a girl, then you have to go through a specific training as a girl. So boys were specially trained to be leaders of families. You are supposed to be the provider as a boy. You are supposed to be the protector as a boy. Meanwhile, women were taught to take care of the family. They were supposed to learn skills of how to be good mothers. That is the content That is how the content of the indigenous education was divided. It was provided according to the gender of the learner. So that therefore we look at now the boys and their roles. Nantale got the chance during the mathematics lesson and she performed very well. Let me now get down to my list and see other people, those ones who have not participated down here. I want to get them down here. Oh yes, I have got Bangu. Bangu, please. I think you are the only Bangu in my list. So even if I don't mention the other name, Bangu, please unmute and talk to us. Bangu, what were the responsibilities? What was taught to the boys in the indigenous education? Another one? Another one? Good.
Protecting the family.
How? Protecting the family, how?
From danger.
Huh? How? Protecting the family, how? That answer has covered many answers there. One, by making spears or arrowheads. Boys were trained to make arrowheads. That was for protection. Boys were trained to make knives and machete or pangas for protection. Okay. Thank you very much. I have got Zalinda. Zalinda, where are you? Aromoraj. Zalinda, unmute, please. Zalinda? Zalinda, unmute, please, and talk to us. Zalinda, yes. I can see Zalinda is on. Zalinda, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, now talk to me. Girls, what were the responsibilities? What training did the girls receive in the indigenous education?
And how to cook.
Good girl. Another one? Give me two. You are delaying. This is an opportunity for you. You don't have to delay. Give us another one. Apart from learning how to cook, what else were they learning? What do you learn at home? Right now, what are you doing at home? You learn how to peel bananas. That one I mentioned it. So those are the answers you should be giving. Okay, thank you very much for participating. Now, I want to get down and request you kindly to rename your gadgets, because now I am seeing here student. How can you be called student? Now, how can I get this one now is called student? I don't know how to now get that person. So rename your gadgets so that we can interact directly. Okay. Yes, I have got here Natukunda. Natukunda, please unmute. Natukunda, unmute. And then you tell us the answer for number 7. Atukunda, are you there?
Yes, teacher.
Give me the answer for number 7. That's not being serious. Atukunda.
Informal education.
Wonderful. Thank you. What is another name for informal education?
Primary education.
No. What's another name for informal education? Natukunda, we have just mentioned the answer. That one there. The word is indigenous. You see now the problem, you are not with me. So I cannot give you to pronounce it, all of you at the same time. But if you're there at home, learn to pronounce these words. You see now Natukunda is there fidgeting. Okay. It is called indigenous. Everyone while at home without unmuting, indigenous.
Indigenous.
Indigenous. Natukunda. Try it again, good girl.
Indigenous.
Wow, you are the best, Natukunda. Okay, let me leave you and get back to my chats. I have got a few chats here. I see you, Ruth. Can you please give us the next answer? Number 8. I see you, Ruth. Number 8, unmute. Unmute, I see you, Ruth. We are giving you permission, Theo. Just 1 minute. You are going to get permission to unmute. Bangu, please mute yourself. You are making noise for us, Bangu.
The learners were taught by the experienced elders in the community.
You are the best. You are a good listener. They were taught by experienced members of the community, and most of those members of the community were elders or senior hunters. If you are going to learn how to fish, you are going to be taught by a senior fisherman. If you are going to learn how to hunt, you are going to be taught by a senior hunter. If you are going to learn how to peel matoke, you are going to be taught by a senior woman who knows how to peel very well. Thank you very much. So we are looking at the next number. Our next number, Roman 2. The lessons were carried out in fireplaces. Apart from fireplaces, the lessons were also carried out practically in the field. I repeat, practically in the field. For example, if you are going to learn how to hunt, they cannot bring you to school. Okay? If you are learning how to hunt, they will not take you to a fireplace. No, they take you to the real hunting ground. And then you are going to be given your spear, you are going to be given your net, you are going to be given your bowlers, and then you go on and hunt practically. So lessons in the indigenous education took place in fireplaces and then also in the real practical grounds, in the area where activity was supposed to be learned. If the activity is fishing, they take you to the water body and then you are taught how to fish right there. So not like this formal education where they bring you to class. Oh, I'm told I'm fast. Okay. In this case, you were supposed to be taken to the real ground where you can be learning how to carry out a specific activity. If you are to learn how to take care of the children, they don't take you to the lake or to the bush where the hunters are. No, you stay at home and then they tell you, sit down, put your lamps straight. Babiri, are you hearing me, Ashley? Put your arms straight, and then they give you a baby. Luiga, they give you a baby, and then they tell you, put your hand like this, put your hand like this, and then you learn how to take care of children. So let's move on, class. We look at the education that was introduced by the missionaries, and we call it formal education or missionary education. Let's look at lesson 2. Our lesson 2 was talking about formal education in similarity or in difference with the informal education. How is formal education different from the informal education? I want to share these experiences with you so that we are able to move together. Let me get my participants here. I really love those who have put up their arm. I'm going to start from there. Let me pick this one. Has put up her arm. Thank you for putting up your arm. Oh, but again, they are my same people who have given chances. Oh, Pinky, I've seen you, Pinky. Pinky, Pinky, Pinky. Give me the difference between formal education and informal education.
Informal education is taught at home while formal education is taught in schools.
Wow, Pinky, that's good. I thought you have forgotten being bright. You're still bright even when you come back, remind me for your sweet. A big lollipop is waiting for you here. Chigozi Elizabeth Thanyu. Chigozi Elizabeth Thanyu. Give me another difference.
Informal education is cheap while formal education is expensive.
Just stop there. I'm going to ask you another question. What makes formal education cheap? I mean expensive.
Formal education is expensive because it teaches skills that informal education cannot provide.
No. Even the other one is teaching skills like hunting skills. What makes it expensive? I'm not leaving you, Sanyu.
What makes it expensive is that they have to take care of a lot of people.
They have to take care.
So they have to get the money to supply the things that they need to teach.
Okay, wonderful. Scholastic materials. Formal education requires scholastic materials that are expensive. Wow, that's amazing. Acheng Peace, I'm on you now. Give me another difference between formal education and informal education. Acheng Peace.
Formal education is taught from school, while informal education took place from fireplaces.
Okay, good. Although you have a little bit used the answer which was mentioned and you have just changed something little, that's being sharp. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. These are our differences. I have put some few here, 2 of them. So we look at the second question. The second question, it requires a trained teachers, and that also makes it expensive because you have to pay trained teachers. The other thing that you should know, that these experienced members of the community in the informal education were not paid using money. They were paid using praises. They felt good to be trainers of the next super hunter. You know, that is enough. That is what could pay them. The pride could pay these people. If he is a medicine man or a medicine woman, and then she or he trains another medicine man, it was just enough to make this person feel good because he has trained another senior hunter. She has trained another medicine man or medicine woman. So they were not paid using cash. They were paid using praises. They were paid using gifts. If today you have taught me how to hunt, I go to the bush and I get a big buffalo. I will come with a buffalo and give you a thigh of that buffalo. And you enjoy as my teacher, the master who has trained me to hunt. So that is how they were paid. They were paid in what we call incentives, gifts, to appreciate their training, to appreciate their work, okay? All right, so let us continue. These are the reasons why formal education is expensive. It requires trained teachers, and for you to train the Mr. team to use this e-learning platform called Zoom, it becomes very expensive. And that's why you are also paying the little money you are paying, because this informal education requires a lot of resource. We require data from here. Mr. Drumke told me it's called data. We require data from here in order to make you learn. So that's why it is expensive, because it requires the use of stationery. Okay. We looked at that. Number 3. In the formal education, we are following syllabus. That's why you see I am in topic 2. I'm following syllabus. A syllabus is arranged work that is supposed to be followed for promotion or for training of a particular group of people. So this organized work is supposed to be followed when providing formal education. But in informal education, the syllabus depends on the needs of the people. If people need a hunter, then they have to train a hunter. If people need a medicine man or medicine woman, then the person has to be trained. Lucia is there sipping tea in the lesson, you see? Luiga is there, Luiga is there sipping tea in my lesson, and she is there swinging something when I'm teaching instead of paying attention. So number 4, we are trying to analyze what makes peace in the informal education. What makes us to be together here? The other one is in Gulu, another one is in Arua, another one is in Hoima, another one is in Mbarara, but you are all listening to me. So that use of one language as a medium of instruction makes us to be peaceful, makes us to be working together because we use one language as a medium of instruction. You just imagine that if you come to school here and the Akech is there speaking hers, Georgina is there speaking hers, Namuli is there speaking hers, Drisa Florence is there speaking hers, Kukiriza is there speaking her language, the whole thing will be disorganized and confused. But because we are using one language, there is that kind of uniformity. Okay? Number 5, I would like to ask Anne, Cecilia. Cecilia, please read for us question 4. Unmute Cecilia and read for us question 4.
Excuse me, teacher, I don't have my paper.
Oh no. Why don't you have your paper? You didn't.
But they are bringing it now.
Hey, that is bringing it now. Okay, fine. Let us get another person. Karen. Nathalia Karen. Nathalia Karen. Yes, Nathalia Karen. Unmute, please. Question 4. Question 4. Question 4, Natalia. Natalia is not paying attention. Natalia is not paying attention. Noela Amolo. Noela Amolo. Down after Trinity. Noela, unmute. Read for us question 4.
How does formal education promote communication across all tribes?
Good. Communication across all tribes. Thank you very much, Amolo. Amolo is very organized. She has a question paper. She has a marking guide there. That's amazing. That's very good. So it encourages communication across all the tribes because it encourages the use of one language as a medium of communication. Number 5. Number 5. Let me get my people here who have put up their arms. Georgina. 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 Yes, Georgina, unmute. Read for us the last question 5 as we go to activity 3. Yes, Georgina, you are on. Talk to us. Georgina. You see the disadvantage of this. Maybe Georgina is now somewhere they are taking tea.
Give 2 forms of education.
Okay. Number 5, activity 2. Georgina?
Yes.
Number 5 of,
Why is road transport useful among people?
Georgina, you are in the set 1. We are in set 2. Namboze. Let's give a chance. Georgina, let's give a chance to Namboze. Namboze? Namboze?
Teacher, it's set 2.
You set 2.
Yeah.
Namboze, speak to us.
Among people.
Okay, now you are on. Now that is the best. You were not organized. Namboze, can you read for us that question again? She has gone off. Okay. So poverty among people and then corruption among people. Those are our answers for that particular number. Let's go to activity 3, where we look at some of the few ways in which the government is trying to provide education among the people. Okay. Number 1, we have got the introduction of universal primary education. That abbreviation always disturbs children, UPE. UPE is not Uganda. It is universal, meaning for everyone. Universal means everyone. Universal primary education. UPE is not Uganda primary education. No, it is universal primary education. USE, Lamara got a chance during the math lesson. I remember you because I was here. Skylar, Namakula Skylar. Namakula Skylar. Are you there? Yes.
Universal
Namakula.
secondary education.
Namakula, spell the word universal.
Universal secondary education.
Thank you. Spell the word universal.
Universal. UNIVERSAL. Universal.
Wonderful. You are the best. When you come here, a big lollipop awaits you. Okay? Fine. Let us look at ABEC. Before we look at that education program called ABEC, I want to give you a little bit of that. It's called alternative. Alternative means one other way. Okay? The other way. The alternative way. So, excuse me. Excuse me. What is this alternative? Instead of making the Karamojong farmers to sit in the class from 8 to 4, there is another alternative of teaching the Karamojongs how to count and how to write. And this alternative means you follow them to their grazing grounds. Now, if you want to teach them how to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you use their cattle. You ask him, how many cattle do you have? He will say, oh, I have many. Okay, let us count. Then as he counts his cows, he is learning how to count. That is how this education was carried out. As he is trying to count his cows, he is able to learn how to count. And then you tell him, what is the name of this cow? He will tell you that cow is called the raw. Then you tell him, how do you write the word raw? In the same time, you are teaching him how to write. And that is how the curriculum of alternative basic education was established in Karamoja. That program was able to make the Karamojongs to learn how to count through the number of using the number of their cows, and it was able to help the Karamojongs to write the names of their cows and the names of their places where they stay and where they graze from. So that is what we call alternative basic education for Karamoja. It's called ABEC. Then we have the FAL, F-A-L. It is called functional adult literacy. Now, functional, what does it mean? It makes you to be actively involved in what you are doing. Okay? If you are an adult, what are these functional information that you should have? You should know how to write. You should know how to read. Okay? So in that process, the education was intending to make the adults to learn how to read and how to write. And so those are ways in which the government has tried to reduce the rate of illiteracy in Uganda. Illiteracy means inability to read and write. Okay? The inability to read and write is called illiteracy. The opposite is literacy. You remove IL, literacy. If you put IL, it becomes illiteracy. Okay? So illiteracy means inability to read and write. So the government has tried so much to reduce the rate of illiteracy in Uganda by introducing programs like UPE, USE, ABEC, and FAL. And that also has helped the rural poor to get education. So we are moving on to our last, I think, yeah, it is our last. That is good. I think we have managed our time today well. Thank you for being good participants. Good. Activity 4. Activity 4. Now that's where my friend was reading. The one who was reading about transport and what. That is a social service called transport service. And we are looking at that transport service. Now let us start with the friends here. Namiro Ada. Namiro Ada, unmute. Good girl. Read for us question 1.
What is transport?
Give us the answer, good girl.
Transport is the movement of people, goods, and service from one place to another.
Read that word well, service. It's not service, it is services.
Service.
Services.
Services.
Now make the sentence well, good girl. Read the sentence well again. You are also not attentive. You quickly talk to me and get away instead of listening what I will ask you next. Shakira Namatovu. Namatovu Shakira, please unmute and talk to me. Yes, Namatovu. Give me 2 types of transport. Namatovu, you have gone off again. Namatovu Shakira, unmute.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, give me 2 types of transport. Namatovu Shakira, I'm going to take you off. You are not sharp.
Road transport.
Another one. Oh, you are wasting our time, little girl. Okay, I want people, when you get a chance, I want people to be, you give me immediately my 2. Tap, tap. That's what I want. Sharp people. Okay. All right. Let me hear from Namale, Roberta, Rosita. Unmute. Unmute. Yes. Give me 1 means of road transport.
Yes, teacher.
Give me 1 means of road transport. Give me another one.
Cars.
Another one.
Bicycles.
Good girl. You are really on the ground.
Lorry.
Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. She's just flowing like water of the River Nile. That's amazing. Thank you very much. I would like to get another friend here. And I want now these ones who have not put up their hands. They are here. Gloria. I've seen here Gloria. Namayanka Gloria. Unmute, please. Unmute. Yes.
Yes.
Good girl. Why do most people use road transport? Why do most people use road transport?
Because it is cheap.
You are the best. Thank you very much. Those are the people who will come to school here, and we put them in the shelter of St. Goretti, and they enjoy lollipops because they have participated very well. Okay, and all of you who have put up your arms, I am sorry I cannot get you all. You are 57 with your hands up. Thank you very much. I would like to ask this other friend of mine to give us the last number, then we shall call it off. Okay, teacher, give me this. Let me use this. Give me another slide. This one. Thank you. Chirunda Immaculate. Chirunda Immaculate, give us number 6, question and answer. Chirunda.
Give one problem first by people who use road transport during the rainy season. It is mud and slippery in rainy season.
Thank you, Chirunda. You are very clear. You know, smile at least. What's the smile? We want to see your smile. Okay, thank you very much. So specifically to the road users, we have problems that face road users. There are those problems that face them during the rainy season, and then we have the problems that face them during the dry season. When you look at the dry season, we experience dust, a lot of it on these roads, but the same time during the rainy season, we have mud and a lot of the condition of being slippery. Ademun, thank you for being very attentive. I have seen people who are not even shaking. They are very attentive. They are writing. Maria, thank you very much. Okay. But there are those ones who are moving up and down. Elizabeth is very attentive. Thank you very much. The last question is specifically to us, the people who live in urban areas. Ampumurza, I don't know that name. The people who live in urban areas, when you are going back from school here, going back home, or when you're coming back to school, your parents will tell us that, you are now on, Lena. Now, Lena, give us number 7. Give us number 7. Lena? Lena, your background is noisy. Oh, Lena, read question 7. Lena? Lena is not with us. Let us take Lena away. We give our last chance to, where are these people? Batenga Maria, Martina, Batenga Martina. Batenga, give us number 7.
Yes, teacher.
Give us question 7.
Give one problem first by road users in the urban areas.
Give us the answer, good girl.
Traffic jam.
Wow, thank you very much. Traffic jam. They are affected by traffic jam. The traffic does not flow. It jams. It remains there. You sit there and wait for hours and hours without moving. That's called traffic jam. We did not look at one type of transport in the work that we gave you, and that is called the pipeline transport. Pipeline transport. This is the type of transport that is used for carrying liquids. Maria, it is used for carrying liquids like the water that you have at home. How does it come to your home? It comes to the home through the pipeline transport, okay? And the means are called pipes, all right? The pipes are the means. The type of transport is called pipeline. So those lines of pipes that come to home is what we call the pipeline transport. We did not put it in our notes, but it's very important that you get to know that water comes home through what we call the pipeline type of transport. It is the type of transport best recommended for transporting liquids. Sooner or later, we are going to have our oil being mined from Lake Albert in that area called the Albertine region. And that oil is going to flow up to the port of Dar es Salaam, where it will be refined through the pipeline transport. You see me, I love my country so much, and so I have to tell you what is going to happen very soon. Very soon, we are going to have our oil being taken to Dar es Salaam for refining. And they are going to use a type of transport called the pipeline transport. So that's what we had got, and it was an oversight in our notes. We did not give it to you, but now you have known that we have the pipeline type of transport. It is the type of transport recommended for the transportation of liquids. Examples of these liquids are the oil that we are going to start mining very soon, and then the water that you use at home. It comes home through the pipeline type of transport. Thank you very much for being attentive, good girls. I want to wish all of you a very best for today's lesson. Next is English language, and your teacher, Michael Drumke, is right here with us. We are going to have a 30-minute break, please. Also on Saturday, we have a lesson. In the new timetable, you will have a Saturday lesson. So get ready. We shall also have Saturday lesson because we have seen that we need to increase the number of days so that we can cover more. So please have a 30-minute break, take your tea, and get ready for the next lesson.
Bye, teacher.
Wow, bye.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, Bye, teacher. Teacher.